All right, so welcome to the Ecom Blueprint course. I'm really happy that you joined, and thank you for putting your trust in me and making this investment. I'm going to do my best to make sure that this course is as valuable and as transparent as possible to really help you take your business to the next level. So first thing before we get on with the content is there is a private group included with this course, and you'll want to join that right away. And so in the next lesson, there's going to be a link where you can apply to join the group, and I'm going to be manually going through all of the applications to approve everyone who bought the course. So in that group, you'll be able to interact with other group members, ask me questions, and also request content that you would like me to add to the Ecom Blueprint course. So that's it for this really short intro. Once again, thanks for joining. Thanks for putting your trust in me, and I hope you enjoy the content. All right, so this is going to be a very quick video, but also very important. So this is going to be a quick legal notice about the intellectual property contained within this course. So this course is the intellectual property of my company, and it's protected by international copyright laws. And so there's a few things here. Number one is that you're not allowed to share your account. Only you get access to your account, and I'm able to see that through the admin panel. I can see if you're sharing your account, and if I see that you're sharing your account, I will revoke your access, and you will not get a refund because you've already seen the content and you've already, taken advantage of my intellectual property. And so don't share your account. I will be checking, and I want to warn you right now, because I don't want you to complain if you get your access revoked because you shared your account. So just don't share your account. You're not allowed to do that. Now, the second thing is reselling this course. Obviously, you're not allowed to resell this course. A lot of people resell courses, and people don't even seem to realize that it's illegal. It's 100% illegal. Like I said, this course is my intellectual property, and it's protected by international copyright laws. And you're breaking those laws by reselling my course. And so I will be building a legal team. I've already reached out to a few lawyers. I'm building a legal team, and anyone that I catch reselling my course and that I can identify, I will be taking legal action against you. And I'm not, this isn't just trying to scare you. I'm very serious. I don't want people reselling my course. I worked hard on this, and it's people who paid for it. They deserve that I take action on the people who are just getting it for free. And so don't try to resell the course. This is an official warning. And I just wanted to make that clear for those people who apparently don't know that you're not allowed to resell someone else's intellectual property. So that's it for this quick legal notice. I had to put this in here just to make sure that people understand, and that if you actually do break these, if you break this notice and if you try to resell my course or share your account, I made it clear right away that you're not allowed. And so, there's absolutely no ground for you to stand on. And so, yeah, that's it for this quick lesson. And now we can actually get to the good stuff and to the good content. And so I'm excited to get started with the other lessons. All right, everyone. So in this video, I want to quickly introduce you to the case study for this course. So here it is. The store is flexposture.com. And as you can see, this is a store that sells posture correctors. So this is the main product for the store, and the vast majority of the sales came from just this one product. So I think that this is a great example of what I teach on my channel. Essentially, what I did is I found a proven product, and then I built a store around it, and I advertised it with Facebook and Instagram. And so, yeah, like I said, great example of what I teach on my channel. And this is a very simple store, and that's why I chose it for this case study, because it's a very simple store. There's no private labeling or any fancy coding or fancy themes. It's just a very simple, clean-looking store with, a product that you can find on AliExpress. And so the goal with this case study was to create something that's easy to replicate for you guys. And so I think that this store is perfect because it's easy to replicate, and there's really nothing stopping you from doing a similar thing with a different product. I mean, you could even do a similar thing with the same product, although that probably wouldn't work that well since, this product has already gone viral many times now. But yeah, so that's why essentially I chose this store as a case study. I think it's a great example. Now let's get into the stats. So I started this store in July 2018, and I scaled it throughout the rest of the year until December. And through those 5-6 months, I was able to do over $1 million in sales, so $1.08 million in sales to be exact. And the profit margins on this were 20%, right at 20%. And so the net profit was over $200,000 in 5 months, 5-6 months. And so I think this is a great case study, and I'm very excited to show you guys everything about this store. So I'm going to be showing you how I started, how I scaled it, and the operations, how I take care of the fulfillment, the customer service, really anything that you could want to know about it, I'm going to be showing it to you in this course. And so I'm very excited, and I hope you guys are too. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next lessons. All right, everyone. So in this lesson, I'm going to be talking about why most people fail. And now the reason that I'm putting this right in the introduction is not to demotivate you guys. It's actually to help you avoid falling into the same pitfalls that most people do when they go into the online business world, especially dropshipping and e-commerce. Now, a common estimate is that 95% of dropshippers fail within their first year. Now, I would even go as far to say that 95% of dropshippers fail within their first 3 to 4 months. And there's a bunch of reasons why that is, but I think it really comes down to two main reasons. So number one is the amount of competition and the lack of differentiation between dropshippers. So this is a Google Trends graph. And as you can see, dropshipping has been really taken off in terms of search interest. So a lot of people are searching about dropshipping. They want to start their own dropshipping business. And since most dropshippers advertise on social media, the result is that social media is getting saturated with these dropshipping ads, and people are seeing a lot of them. And basically, you have all these different stores competing to get, smaller and smaller pieces of the pie. Now, everyone who's doing this is all pretty much doing the same thing, right? Because information is easily accessible. You have people teaching on YouTube, you have a lot of blogs, and pretty much everyone's teaching the same thing, which is just make a general store, test a bunch of products. Once you find something that works, scale it. And so that's what everyone's doing. And so you're seeing these storms of general stores all over the place, and there's no differentiation between dropshippers. Everyone's kind of testing the same fun, quirky products, and everyone's doing the same thing. And so I think that's the number one reason why people fail. Now, number two is just as important, if not more important. And it's that most people come into the dropshipping and e-commerce space with unrealistic expectations, and they have no winning mindset in place. So let me elaborate on what I mean. So most people come into this space not because they're interested in e-commerce or they've been interested in online business for a long time. The reason why they get into this space is because they've seen an ad from some guy telling them that they can make $100K in their first month, or someone had a video with like a Lamborghini saying that they bought this Lamborghini with dropshipping. The point is that a lot of people are getting unrealistic expectations for what they can accomplish with dropshipping and e-commerce in like a short period of time, right? I'm not saying that it's impossible to buy a Lamborghini with e-commerce, because it definitely is possible. I don't know why you would want to do that, but it is possible, and it just takes time, right? People expect success to happen a lot faster than it usually does, and they get disappointed. So if you come in with unrealistic expectations and no winning mindset in place, you're going to get discouraged when you don't reach those unrealistic goals fast enough, and then you're going to quit. So make sure that this isn't you. Make sure that you have realistic expectations and that you can have a winning mindset. And now the whole next section of this course is going to be about mindset. And I think this is extremely important, so I would recommend that you don't skip this module. A lot of people are probably going to skip it because they think that's boring, and I understand, but having a winning mindset is key. And I can safely say that having a winning mindset has really helped me succeed in online business, and it was one of the major factors in my success. So keep that in mind. I really hope that you guys watch the mindset module of the course, because it's going to be really important. All right, everyone. So welcome to the mindset module of the course. This is probably going to be one of the shortest modules in the course, but one of the most important as well. So first topic is why mindset is important for e-commerce and business in general. So number one is unrealistic expectations. Now, I touched a little bit on this in a previous video, but I want to talk about it a little more. So most people will come into this space with unrealistic expectations, and this is mostly due to marketers selling courses, things like that, and giving off a false image of what this lifestyle is like. So the truth is that there's a learning curve, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of work to see results. And the learning curve is really steep. So you need to learn a lot. You need to, practice what you learn and actually do it in practice. And that's the only way you're really going to start seeing big results with e-commerce. It's not, you can't just watch a video on YouTube and the next day you're going to make $10,000 a day. There's a learning curve, and it takes time and, learning and application of what you learn. Now, without proper mindset, you're likely going to get discouraged and you're going to quit before succeeding. So you really need to have the proper mindset. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the dip too. And the dip is it's a really interesting phenomenon that's been studied over the years. And it basically says that success in almost anything usually follows this curve right here. So this axis is the results, and this is the effort over time. And so what this is basically saying is that when you if you jump into a new business, for example, for example, drop shipping. So you start drop shipping. What you'll usually see is right as you get into drop shipping, with minimal effort, so you'll watch a few videos, free content, you'll start making your own store. Results, you can start getting some results, and everything starts going well for a little bit. So you'll probably get to like your first few sales, you'll get to like $100 a day. But then as you start putting in more effort, you start getting less results, and this is called the dip. And this section here is where most people quit. And this is also, this graph makes it look pretty short, but this dip can be, months to years on end. And this dip is really when you need to learn to differentiate yourself from others and learn to test things for yourself and really do the grunt work of what's going to make you successful. And so most people quit during this dip. And I've seen this dip firsthand, right? Once you get into a new space, the first results are easy to achieve. This is the easy stuff. But once you want to go to the really crazy results, there's this long period of learning and putting in a lot of effort without getting a lot of results. And so if you want to read more about this, there's a great book called The Dip by Seth Godin, and I would recommend that you read it. But basically, you just need to understand that don't get discouraged if you experience this dip in your business. This is all part of the process. It just means that you're learning and you're taking in all of the information that you need to get to this point of great results. All right, everyone. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the compound effect, which I think is the foundation for a winning mindset for business and life in general. So the compound effect, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about compound interest and how like if you invest $10,000 in the stock market and it grows at 10% a year for 50 years, you end up a millionaire with like $1.2 million. And so that's how compounding works, right? It's like an exponential curve, and that's the compound effect. But most people don't realize that this applies to more than just business and actual money, right? You can compound everything. And the compound effect is in everything in our lives. So let me elaborate a little bit more on that. So basically, the compound effect is small actions that you do consistently over a long period of time that make a radical difference. And this applies to everything. Income, health, relationships, happiness, success. It's all about making small choices every day, consistently, and over time, that makes a radical difference. And that's how compounding interest works, right? Like the whole thing about compound interest for money is that it's over 50 years. It's over a long period of time. It's small gains over a long period of time that compound to massive results. And now, a good example of this, for example, if you're trying to lose weight, this person, is overweight and they really want to lose weight. Out of nowhere, like as a New Year's resolution, they say, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week and I'm going to completely cut carbs or something like that. Someone that's, been eating unhealthy and never goes to the gym. They set this massive goal. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to fail. It's just not going to work out, right? But if that person said, all right, every day I'm going to do 15 push-ups, that's it. So that's a small choice, right? And it's important that you pick small choices because that's what the compound effect is about, because you need to be consistent. So those small choices need to be consistent. So you need to make it just small enough that you can do it every single day consistently without whining about it, without it being too big of a hassle, right? So if you set a small goal, like 15 push-ups a day, and you do it every single day, over time, that's going to compound, and your health is going to compound, and you're going to feel better. And now, obviously, 15 push-ups isn't enough, right? But in terms of completely changing your health, but it would be a start. It's a small choice that you do consistently, and then over time, it makes a radical difference. Now, that same person could also, set other compound effect goals. So they could say, every time I go for a chocolate bar, I'm going to grab, an energy bar instead. And that's a small choice, but if you do that consistently over time, it's going to make a radical difference. They could just make a small choice that I'm not going to take any sugary drinks anymore. I can eat everything that I was eating before, but just no pop, so no Coca-Cola. Small choice, but if you do it consistently and you do it over time, it makes a radical difference. And now this is what the compound effect is all about. Now, a physical example of this, because this is a real thing that happens physically, that happens mathematically, and that happens in life in general for mindset and success. So a physical example of this is the Grand Canyon. Now, if you don't know how the Grand Canyon was formed, it was formed by years of water just carving through. So there's a little stream, a little river going through the Grand Canyon, and that stream of water has been carving the rock consistently for millions of years. So if you zoomed in to like a daily basis of just the water doing its thing, it seems insignificant, right? You think there's no way that just a little bit of water can create anything significant. But over time and consistency, so, the water never stopped. It's always consistent. It's always just flowing down. And over time, millions of years, it makes a radical difference. And it created the Grand Canyon, one of the great wonders of the world. And that's a great example of the compound effect, right? On a daily basis, it seems insignificant. Just like doing 15 push-ups every day seems insignificant, right? Because it only takes like 2 minutes. But if you compound that over time, it makes a radical difference. So this is something that you want to apply in your life. And I'm going to give you another example from my personal life. So I've been learning how to make money online since I was 16 years old. And I wrote 16 years old here, but it was actually probably younger than that. I'm pretty sure I was like 14 when I first got into it. 16 when I really got into it and started spending a lot of time researching this. And I constantly worked at it, even without making money for like 2 years. I did make a little bit of money, but not a lot. And I worked really hard, and I was consistent because I knew that I wanted to do this. And I knew that it takes time to learn, and that my time will come if I just stay consistent and I keep learning. So for 2 years, I read blogs, I watched YouTube, I tried things for myself. And that's mainly what I did. I tried things for myself. So, I've started multiple blogs, affiliate marketing businesses, paid traffic businesses. I tried selling services on Fiverr, on Upwork. And consistently, I never stopped. And I didn't see big results until over 2 years later when I started e-commerce. But all those consistent actions from before, it wasn't in vain. It gave me the skills that I needed to get the results that I'm seeing today. So all that hard work compounded to the results that I'm seeing today. And if I go back to this example, this is literally what my success in online business looks like. For a long time, nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, it just took off exponentially. And if you analyze anyone's success, that's what it looks like. And it's not that you're not making any progress here. You are making progress. But that's the compound effect. That's how it works. Progress is super slow and you can't tell, but then it starts compounding really, and then that's when it goes exponential. So that's the compound effect. And how do you apply the compound effect, especially for business? So I'm going to try to bring this back to e-commerce a little bit more now. So how do you apply this? You want to adopt small routines that you can do consistently. And consistency is key here. You need to pick routines that are small enough that you can keep up and do it consistently, and never say like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm too lazy. I just want to watch Netflix instead. So for example, you could say, I'm going to watch one new course video every day. Or I'm going to read one blog post about Facebook ads every day. Or I'm going to read 15 pages of a good book every day. And these small, insignificant actions compound over a long period of time, right? So you could even say, like, if you're working on a new brand, you could say, I'm going to test five new audiences a day. Or I'm going to make 3 new ads a week. Or, you just need to set realistic goals that aren't too crazy that you can be consistent with. And it's all about consistency. Now, when you mix that consistency with time, you get crazy results. And that's basically the compound effect. So I hope that makes sense. And this is a quote from Will Smith here that really explains this compound effect well. So here's what he says. He says, you don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick perfectly as a brick can be laid. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. And I really like this quote. So most people, they focus on the end goal first. They don't focus on just starting and starting brick by brick, right? So instead of saying, I'm just going to build this massive wall and think, how am I going to build this massive wall and just focus on that specifically, what you do is you say, all right, well, I'm just going to start. I'm going to do every single day. I'm going to put down a brick as well as I can. And over time, you're going to have a wall. And that's how it works. And that's how the compound effect works. It's all about taking small actions consistently instead of just setting these unrealistic goals and then giving up. Small, consistent actions repeated over time, and that equals massive success. Now, just before I end this lesson, I have a recommended book for you guys, and it's called The Slight Edge. The Slight Edge. And this book is about the compound effect, and it personally changed my life. I can safely say that ever since I've read the book, I've seen a massive change in my life and my success. And I would highly, highly recommend it. And just reading in general is good. It's good for the brain. It's good for opening up your creative mind. And so I would definitely recommend that you read this Slight Edge book. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, everyone. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about another important mindset topic, which is self-reliance. So first off, what is self-reliance? Well, self-reliance is basically the ability for you to rely on yourself when things get difficult. And so why is this important? Well, this is especially important as an entrepreneur. If we take this course, for example, with this course, I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step blueprint that you can use to start your own profitable one-product store. However, you're still the one who needs to execute it, fill the missing gaps, and make it your own. And you're the only person who can do that. I can't do that for you. And you need to be able to rely on yourself to take in the information from this course and execute upon it. And so for this, you need to be self-reliant. Now, another thing is you need to be self-reliant enough to find information by yourself when you get stuck. When something doesn't click, or there's missing gaps and there's something that you don't understand, you need to be able to find information by yourself. We do have a support team for this course, and you can email us, but most of the time, you can just find an answer to your questions by using something like Google, or by asking people involved in the space. And you need to be able to be self-reliant and find information by yourself. Otherwise, you're going to have a really hard time in the long run, because every day you're going to have some of these questions that you need an answer to, right? Every day, and you need to be able to research on Google to learn how to take in information from different sources and come to your own conclusions. You can't just expect to be spoon-fed your whole life. Another thing is that you need to make decisions all the time as an entrepreneur. You can't rely on anyone else to make them for you. And this is extremely important as well. And that's pretty much what being an entrepreneur is. It's making difficult decisions all the time. And so the only way that you can handle that is if you're self-reliant and if you're confident in your own decision-making ability. Now, another important topic is finding information by yourself. So I touched a little bit on this in the last slide, but this is extremely important. So as an entrepreneur, Google is going to be your best friend. Now, specifically for this niche of dropshipping and online marketing, it evolves extremely rapidly. So when you are searching for information on Google, make sure that you only look at content updated within the last 6 months to 1 year. Anything past 1 year is sort of outdated. So look at recent content. The more recent, the better. Now, if you can't find anything on Google, if you have a question, you can't find anything on Google, then for advanced questions, Facebook groups are extremely useful. So since you purchased this course, you have access to the private group for this course. You can ask the question there, and you'll have a bunch of people who can try to help you. Just make sure that you don't waste people's time with basic questions that you can search on Google, because that annoys everyone. You can, if there's a simple question like what's CPM, if someone asks that, it's offensive, because they didn't even take the time to just try to Google it. They'd rather waste someone's time and ask the question than Google what is CPM. And when I see someone like that who asks basic questions that they could just ask on Google, that's a huge sign to me that that person is not going to succeed as an entrepreneur. Because if they can't even search information by themselves, and for something that simple, how are they gonna work out the higher level stuff when it's actually complicated? And so you need to be able to find information about yourself. This is really important. Now, another thing I want to touch on is the best way to learn. And there's two best ways to learn, in my opinion. So number one is learning by analyzing your competition. And so that's the absolute best way to learn. So if you know what you're trying to evolve in, if you have a competitor and that's kind of like your model for who you're trying to, what you're basing your store around. For example, for me, most of my brands, one of the brands that I look up to is High Smile. It's a one product brand that does extremely well. And so that's like one of the main inspirations for me. And so when I want to learn more about, marketing strategy, one thing that I'll do is I'll go back to High Smile and I'll really analyze everything that they're doing. I'll analyze their website design. I'll analyze their ads. And so I learn a lot that way, right? Because I can see what they're doing. And especially nowadays, there's a lot of transparency on ad platforms. For example, Facebook, you can see all the ads that a brand is running, right? So there's a lot to learn from analyzing your competition, is basically what I'm saying. And one other thing that I wrote here is that actions speak louder than words. So watch how the successful stores achieve the results and try to model it, And the second way to learn is to be curious and to test things out for yourself relentlessly.
and this is how I learned most of my e-commerce knowledge, is I just tested everything by myself relentlessly. And the more that you start testing things out for yourself, the more that you will learn and truly understand. And so so that's the best way to put it. The more you will learn and truly understand, because your brain, when you test something for yourself, something really clicks. It's different than if someone just tells you something. You don't really take it in as well as if you test it for yourself and you see the results. Then something really clicks and you don't forget it. And so when you test things for yourself, you're going to learn and understand things a lot faster. And so I would definitely suggest that you test things relentlessly, and whenever you have a new idea, test it. Whenever you have, something, just basically test everything that you can, and you'll see that it helps you a lot in learning and understanding things better. So this is a quote from Thomas Edison, which really goes with what I was just saying there, is that I have not failed, I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And he's referring to the light bulb, right? When he was trying to invent the light bulb, he tried like 10,000 different filaments, and none of them would work. And the way he sees it is he found 10,000 ways that don't work. And you can make a parallel with that to like Facebook ads, for example. You could say I haven't failed. I've just found 100 audiences that don't work. I've just found 100 interests that don't work. And I can totally relate to this, especially for like scaling. I've tested so many different ways to scale and, running Facebook ads at scale. And I found there's so many ways that don't work, but you just need one way that does work. And so I really like this quote. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And that's finding ways that don't work is just as useful as finding ways that do work, right? Because now you have less options, and it's like a process by elimination. Now, the last thing that I want to touch on in this lesson about self-reliance is blocking out the noise, because there's a lot of noise in this space, in the dropshipping and e-commerce space. There's a lot of noise. Everyone is claiming to have like a new strategy or a new software that will help you make more money quickly and easily. You need to block out this noise. Most of the time, it's complete BS, and it's just people trying to sell you a course or a program or whatever. There's a lot of money to be made in this niche for marketers, and so everyone's trying to sell you something. You need to block out all the noise because it's just a massive distraction. You want to focus on a proven method, so rationally ask yourself, what is a proven method that I know people or I've seen people have success with, and then focus on that and just keep working at that for at least a year and block out the noise. So avoid YouTube, avoid Instagram, avoid Facebook, avoid all of that and just focus on your own thing. And that's what I did when I first got involved in e-commerce. I was completely immersed in it, and I would avoid social media for the most part, especially the side of social media of drop shipping and e-commerce, right? So I didn't. Now I'm involved on it because I make videos about drop shipping, but before I never went on it at all. So I didn't know any of those guys who were selling courses because I didn't care to look up anything on dropshipping on YouTube. I just tested things for myself, and I read blogs, and I learned by analyzing the competition. And so you really don't need social media, and if anything, it's just going to distract you enormously. So I would definitely avoid that. You just avoid YouTube especially for dropshipping, because there's so many people trying to sell you their course. So just avoid YouTube, and otherwise you're going to get overwhelmed really easily. And the last thing is focus on things that matter and that you can control. So this is a good little diagram. There's some things that matter and things that you can control. That's what you want to focus on. If something doesn't matter, don't focus on it. If you can't control something, don't focus on it. Now, this seems self-evident, but when you are faced with like a problem like this, just think of this Venn diagram, because it does help to help you think rationally. For example, sometimes if your Facebook ads are doing terrible one day, right, and all you can think about is how your Facebook ads are doing terrible, you're not making any progress. It's not helping you whatsoever because you can't control it. It does matter. So it'd be in this section, in this white area of things that matter, but it's not in things that you can control. So you shouldn't focus on it. For example, things that matter and things that you control instead would be like making new creatives or something, right? Like I identify what's not working with my ads, or test new ad copy, or test new audiences. That's what you should focus on. Things that you can control and things that matter. And this is really important. It's self-evident, but you want to keep it in mind whenever you run into sort of a problem like this. And that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson. All right, so in this lesson, I'm going to be talking about the one thing, which is kind of the whole philosophy behind the strategy taught in this course and just the mindset that you should have. So let's get right into it. This is really interesting. So the concept of the one thing is that you can simplify your workflow by just focusing on one thing. So this is kind of where the whole one product store idea comes from. So don't spread yourself thin. Instead, focus on one thing that's working well and just double down on it. Even more than double down, just go all in on it. And so this kind of comes from the 80-20 rules, and that says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. And so that's a good example of that in practice would be if you have a general store. If you have a general store, probably 20% of or less of your products are going to bring all of the sales, right? And so you basically you can focus in on that 20% of your actions that bring in the most results. So you want to find one thing that brings in massive results and then focus all in on that. And so focusing on that one thing allows you to dominate at that one thing versus being mediocre at a bunch of things. And so, I don't know why you wouldn't rather be dominating at one thing versus being mediocre at many things, right? So it makes sense. And so how do you apply this to mindset? Well, first, you don't jump around between different methods. You stop trying to find a miracle method that'll work for you, and you focus on just one strategy for at least a year before evaluating the results. And this is really important. So you want to find one strategy that is working, that you know is working, that has worked for other people, and then you focus on just that strategy, and you don't spread yourself thin. If you keep jumping around between different methods, in the end, you're not an expert in anything, and you basically just wasted your time. And on the contrary, if you dedicate yourself to one strategy, you can become a master, and you can truly become an expert and succeed with that strategy. And then you can even start becoming a consultant, becoming all these different types of things for that one thing because you've put so much energy and you've become so good at that one thing. Now, how do you apply this to e-commerce? Well, focusing on just one product or one niche instead of making a general store. And that's the whole idea behind this course. As you saw with the case study of this course, Flex Posture, I was focusing on basically one product. You could say one niche, which is posture correctors, but essentially I was focusing on the one product that was bringing in the majority of the results. And so instead of focusing on testing dozens of new products a week, I found something that was proven to work, and I made it work for me. So I created this new brand around it, and that's all I focused on. I didn't even have any other stores during that period when I was running Flex Posture. I was focusing just on Flex Posture and making that as successful as possible. And since e-commerce is such a massive market, I don't even know what the total sales online are, but they're massive. The total sales online are insane. And so because of the scale of e-commerce and the worldwide reach that you have, you can do crazy numbers with just one product. You don't need a lot of products. So just pick one product that is proven to work well and dominate it. Now, focusing on one product lets you really dominate that niche versus all the people who are already selling in that niche, but they're spreading their energy across multiple products. So when you start off with this strategy and you pick one product that you're really going to focus on, there's going to be a lot of people who are probably already selling the product, but they're all going to be just general stores, and they're going to be putting maybe like a quarter of their energy towards that product. But if you put 100% of your energy towards that product, there's no way you're not going to win, right? As long as you're not stupid. And so focusing on one product lets you dominate that niche. And this is really, really important with the whole strategy for this taught in this course. And so a great example of this is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has one product basically, right? They have a bunch of different subsidiaries now, but essentially they have one product, which is sugar water. And so they've been able to build $1 billion business that's consistent year over year, one of the best businesses in the world with just one thing. They focused on one thing. They didn't try to go and start making pizza, They focused on their thing, which is Coca-Cola and good pop, good cola. And they became the best cola company in the world. And so that's why it's really important to focus on one thing, and you can achieve extraordinary things by just focusing in on one thing. And so this is a quote from Gary Keller, who is a very, very successful businessman. He owns a massive real estate company. He's worth like $200 million. And he wrote the book, The One Thing, which is where most of the ideas from this presentation came from. And I would highly recommend that you read that book. But what he says is you need to be doing fewer things for more effect instead of doing more things with side effects. And so this is really interesting. He says do fewer things that have more effect instead of doing a bunch of different things that have all these different side effects. And this applies to e-commerce as well. So really interesting quote. And if you have the time, I would definitely recommend that you read The One Thing by Gary Keller, because this guy is a genius and his philosophy on life is super interesting. All right, everyone, so welcome to the product research section of the course. And in this lesson, I'm going to be talking about what makes a winning product and what are the criteria you should look for when you're selecting a product. And I'm also going to be giving you a lot of examples of past winning products just to kind of give your, help you get an idea for what a winning product looks like, which is going to help you a lot when you start doing product research. So there's three main factors. Number one is high demand. So you need the product to be in high demand. Now this is sort of a no-brainer, but you need to pick a product that's in high demand if you're going to scale it a lot. So there's three main ways to assure that a product is in high demand. Number one is that it's a need product. So people need it. So it solves a problem. If it solves a problem, there's always going to be people who need that product as long as people still have that problem. So there's problems that are always out there. For example, weight loss. There's always people trying to lose weight. So whenever you have a product that's for weight loss or for, shapewear or, to deal with the problems that come with being overweight, there's always going to be people interested in those problems. Another one is teeth whitening. There's always going to be people who have yellow teeth, or there's a lot of examples like that. But as long as people have a problem, for example, posture. That's why the posture corrector store did so well, is that a lot of people have this problem of poor posture, and so people need it, and it's in high demand. There's also other ways to ensure that a product is in high demand. For example, if you have a passion niche product. For example, if you target something for dogs, like one store that did really, really well in the past is called Pup Socks, and they did custom puppy socks. And these custom socks, you basically uploaded a photo of your puppy, and then they would print your dog's face on the socks and send them to you. And so this is a passion niche, right? So it's always going to be in high demand if you target dog lovers, because they love dogs, right? Anything with like a photo of their dog on it, they're going to want to buy it. And so if you target something like that, a passion niche, so that dog example, or for example, like fishers, that's a very niche thing, that we're super passionate about fishing, and you offer them this revolutionary fishing tool, odds are that they're going to be interested and that there's going to be demand for your product. So that's another way to ensure demand. Now the third way is trend. Some products start trending, and when they start trending, it becomes a word of mouth thing. People are talking about it, people have heard of it, and a lot of people are on the fence whether or not they should buy it. So if a product is already trending, it's in high demand, and you can take advantage of that. And an example of that is fidget spinners. Fidget spinners blew up, and if you look up the Google trends for fidget spinners, it's basically like up, and then it goes back down. And you could have capitalized on that. If you advertise fidget spinners during the peak of that bubble, if you ran like Instagram ads for fidget spinners, you would have gotten a lot of sales because a lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people wanted fidget spinners. But unfortunately, it completely died off because that was just a trend. So for this high demand factor, you want to look for at least one of those things: a need, a passion niche, or a trend. If you can combine a few of those, that's even better. For example, if there's a need and there's a trend. And that's exactly what I was looking at for the posture corrector store. There was a need, so it solves a problem. It solves the problem of poor posture. And there was also a trend. It started trending. And I'm going to show you guys more information about that in the next video. I'm going to be covering exactly how I found the posture corrector product. But in this video, I'm just giving you the criteria. So you want the product to be in high demand. So you want to combine as many of these factors as possible. If you have just a product that solves a problem, that's usually good enough. And but if you combine that with trend, that's even better. Now, passion niche, that's not personally my expertise, but it can work really well. If you have a passion niche, you can make a lot of money with that too. And it's just the scaling potential is a little bit lower, but there's definitely demand for those kinds of products. So those also work. Now, another factor is low availability. So this is basically just basic economics, right? High demand, low availability. That's what is a good business opportunity for you. Now, if low availability, what I mean is that a certain product that's not easily found in stores with no competitors that are marketing it, or it's a new product, right? And so if you have either of those, if you have any of these three things, that could mean that your product has low availability. A good one is that it's not easily found in stores, right? If there's a certain product that you can't find anywhere else, you can't find at the local Walmart, you can't find, any brick and mortar stores, that's a good sign. That's a really good sign. Now, pretty much every product is going to be on Amazon or on eBay, so you don't want to let that stop you. But I'm talking about brick and mortar stores. If your product isn't in any brick and mortar stores, that's a good sign. No competitors marketing it. If you're the first person to market a product that's in high demand, that's a guaranteed win for you. So those are hard to find, obviously, but if you happen to find a product that no one's marketing and it's in high demand, then you should definitely go for it. Now, new products are also in low availability, right? If a product is new, it's likely not going to be easily found in stores. There's likely not going to be that many competitors marketing it, and not a lot of people are going to have heard of it. And so these two right here, high demand and low availability, are probably the most important when it comes to picking a product. But this uniqueness, this third factor, is also extremely important because we're advertising on social media. So these two factors are just the basic economics, supply and demand. But this is the social media factor. Since we're going to be advertising these products on social media, you do want some level of uniqueness to the product. And so there's different forms of uniqueness that you could have. So number one is just wow factor. Like when you watch a video and you're just like, wow, that's impressive. And I would consider the posture correctors as a wow factor. And I'm going to elaborate more on the posture corrector store soon. But there's wow factor, right? Because it offers an impressive solution to having like a poor posture, right? The curved shoulders, all that type of thing. In the video, it shows you, oh, the back's getting straight. And when people see that, they're impressed. It gives off wow factor. And so that helps a lot with social media. It gets people talking in the comments. It just gets a lot of engagement, and it really helps the post do well on social media. So wow factor is extremely important if you're going to advertise on social media. Now, there's different ways to have uniqueness. Quirky, fun products also work great, and a lot of people advertise these mainly. For example, bluecrate.com, that's like their whole strategy is to focus on quirky, fun products, and those work well because they're unique, right? And so if you have unique products, it gets people's attention on social media. So quirky, fun products do work well. And another way to be unique is with customization. So like I was talking about the example of the pup socks, the company that did socks where you could print your puppy's face on the socks. That's customization. It makes you more unique, right? And so you guys should definitely look up pup socks if you're interested in that. There's a great case study write-up somewhere on Google if you look up pup socks. And that's how they stood out on social media, right, with customization. So they were like, their ads literally showed, put your puppy on your socks. And so people were like, ooh, this is so unique, this is so cool. And they were talking about it in the comments, and then the post just went completely viral. And so uniqueness, customization works well. Now, the last thing is new product. If you have a new product and you show it in an ad and people are like, what in the world is this? That's unique, right? That gets people's attention. So new products work well for uniqueness as well too. So you want to have these three main factors in place at least when you're selecting a product. So high demand, low availability, and uniqueness. Any combination of one of these, and one of these. And if it's more than one, it's even better. Now this is my favorite combination. So this is I'm taking one subheading out of each of these three categories. So for high demand, low availability, and uniqueness, I like something that solves a problem that's not easily found in stores and that has wow factor. So I hope you guys understand what I'm doing here. So I'm just picking one of each of these for high demand. So high demand, I'm picking solves a problem. Low availability, I'm picking not easily found in stores. And uniqueness, I'm picking wow factor. And so this is my formula for a winning product. This is what I've had the most success with. And pretty much everything, all my products that I'm running right now follow this exact criteria. And I've had success with this exact formula. So you want a product that solves a problem, that's not easily found in stores, / that it's kind of a new product, and that has wow factor. And so I want to show you examples of past products that kind of fit those criteria and that were proven to be extremely successful products. So number one, the posture corrector. This is the product that I was selling on the Flex Posture store, the store for the case study for this course. So the posture corrector, it solves a problem, right? Poor posture, back pain, slouching, These are all real problems that a lot of people have, right? What percent of the population do you think slouches or, has back pains? The potential reach on that is massive. And as long as someone is slouching or someone has back pains, you can offer them this solution, the posture corrector, and they're going to be interested in buying it. It's as simple as that. Now, there's a wow factor here. It's an easy solution. As you'll see in my ads later on in the case study and in this course, you'll see that the ads showed wow factor. It offered this cool solution, this easy solution to the problem, and it was an impressive solution, and the ads had a wow factor. And now the last thing is that it's not easily found in stores. If people could find this in stores easily, what would happen is I would advertise, and then they'd be like, oh, this makes me want a posture corrector. And then they would stroll down onto Walmart and then try them on, try posture correctors on at Walmart and then buy one. So there's no posture correctors in stores. People don't really sell them in stores. And so that's a huge advantage. People have to buy these online because they don't see them in brick and mortar stores. So posture corrector is a great example of a product that fits this exact blueprint. Solves a problem, not easily found in stores, plus wow factor equals winning product. Now, charcoal teeth whitening, another great example, and this was another of my winning products. As a lot of you know, my first store was Beauty Charcoal. I scaled that to over $1 million in sales with this teeth whitening product. Now, why did it do so well? Well, number one, it solves a problem. Yellow teeth. How many people have yellow teeth? Wow factor. It has impressive results, right? In the videos and everything, and it's an impressive product, right? The fact that black powder can turn your teeth more yellow. So it gets people talking. It's impressive. It's interesting. And so it has that wow factor. Now, the last thing is that it's not easily found in stores. Now, this isn't true anymore. This charcoal teeth whitening powder, it wasn't easily found in stores back in 2017 when I started it. Now it's in all stores. And so that's why it doesn't do as well anymore, because it's in every single store. And there's all these independent brands like Organic Activated Charcoal. And so now it's in every single store and it's not doing as well anymore. But back when I was selling it, it was not easily found in stores, and that contributed a lot to how well it sold online. Now, another product, the strapless push-up bra. This is another product that did really well for a lot of people. It solves a problem, right? A lot of girls don't want these straps to show when they're wearing like dresses or they're going out to the club. I don't really know. They don't want their straps to show. And then there's also the cleavage problem. Like they can pull together string to get a better cleavage. So that's a problem, I guess, as well. So, those are two problems solved by this product. Now, there's the wow factor. It holds by itself without any straps, any back straps, anything. It's just like suction cups, I suppose. And so that's impressive. And in the ads, you show that it holds by itself. You show that it's strapless. You show that you can just easily pull together the strings to get that cleavage going. These are all wow factors. It's all things that you can show in the ad that people are going to see and they're going to be like, wow, that's really cool. And then they're going to want to tag their friends. They're going to want to talk about it. And then the last thing, again, not easily found in stores. So I'm sure you guys are starting to see the pattern. All these products kind of follow a similar pattern. Now, another one, portable makeup bag. This was a huge product, extremely successful for a lot of people. Now, it solves a problem. The problem itself being that it's hard to find items in a makeup bag. They have to, women usually who have these makeup bags, they empty it all on the table to try to find just one thing, and then they have to pack it all back up. This thing just lets you open it up flat on the table and pick out whatever item you need. So it solves the problem. Wow factor. If you've ever seen ads for this product, there's definitely wow factor. They just spread it all out on the table and then pull one string to close it all up. It looks cool. It's efficient, and people want it, and then it gets people talking. Once again, not easily found in stores. This product was not easily found in stores. Now, I don't know if it is nowadays, but I suppose that it's still not that easily found in stores. So this was a great product. Now, another example, silicone stretch kitchen lids. So this was a very successful product. It is still very successful to this day. And so once again, solves a problem. It's a convenient solution for storing food. And so it's like this wrapper, it's like this lid it's like a stretch lid basically that you can just stretch on top of anything to basically close any Tupperware. You can cover any plate. You can cover half of a melon apparently. And so you can do all these different things with these stretch lids. And so this solves a problem, storing food. Wow factor, it's impressive. If you see the ads for this product, they make it look super cool, super impressive. You can pretty much store anything with just these kitchen lids. And so it definitely has wow factors, and once again, not easily found in stores. If you go to stores, you just find regular like Tupperware, right? You don't find these kitchen stretch lids. So another cool product. Now, this pore cleansing vacuum, once again, solves a problem. Clogged pores. That's a problem that a lot of people want to get rid of. They want to get rid of their blackheads, all these kinds of things. And so this pore cleansing vacuum was doing extremely well and was selling a lot because a lot of people have this problem. Now it has wow factor because it's like a pore vacuum, right? It looks cool, and people like the video ads for this product. They just show like all this stuff coming out, right, in this like little transparent, the little transparent part of the vacuum. You can see like all the blackheads and all the stuff coming out of the nose in there, and so that gives like wow factor. It's like, holy, there was a lot of stuff clogged down there, right? And people talk about it, tag their friends. Wow factor once again. And lastly, not easily found in stores, right? Like I don't think you could find this thing anywhere in stores. The only place you could get this is online, and so that contributes to the success of the product once again. And because it's a new product, right? That's why it's not easily found in stores. Like as far as I know, this was a new product, and so people haven't had the time to start selling it in stores. So another great example. Now another one, I think this might be the last one. No, there's two more. So this one, a car scratch repair pen, product that did extremely well. Once again, it's the same blueprint. It solves a problem. It has wow factor because it's an easy solution, right? People who have scratches on their cars, they see these video ads where it's just like a little pen. They swipe it over and then there's no more scratch, right? And so they're like, wow, this is awesome. I want this. And once again, not easily found in stores. And the wow factor. So it has the three points once again. And now the last product example is this eye massage pen. Once again, this is a really recent product. As I'm recording this course, this product is selling extremely well right now. And what does this product do? It solves a problem. Eye bags and wrinkles, eye wrinkles. It has wow factors, right? When you show the videos, it shows like people using this, and then right away like it becomes less puffy and all these things. And then once again, not easily found in stores. Like you can't find this eye wand anywhere in stores. And so, yeah, as you can see, pretty much all these products follow this blueprint. It solves a problem, not easily found in stores, plus wow factor. And this is the blueprint this is the criteria that I look for whenever I select a product, because if it meets all these criteria, I know that I can at least, I can scale it, because if it solves a problem, I know that I can scale it. And if it's not easily found in stores and wow factor, I know that it can do well on social media. So these are my main three factors and main three criteria that I look for when I'm selecting a product. Now, a few more tips. Products that are new, that people haven't seen before, they work best to build a branded store around. So like if you try to build a branded store around like a product that's been around forever, people aren't going to react to that. But if you find this new product that's just recently coming out of China, then you build a brand around that, and people haven't seen that product before, it's a lot more likely that people are going to start associating your brand with that product, and then you start seeing exponential growth because of that association. Now, another thing is that when you start building a branded store around one product, people are less likely to search on Amazon or eBay. And so that's why the whole strategy is to build a one product store, right? Because if you don't do this, people are going to search on Amazon and eBay, and then they're going to go off your site. So definitely you want to pick a product that you can kind of build a one product brand around, something that's brandable. And so the posture corrector, as you saw with the introduction to that store in the introduction module of the course, I built a brand around the product, right? Flex Posture for posture correctors. Like I don't even have a private branding on the products, but just the website is branded Flex Posture. People land on the site and then they're like, oh, this is a store that sells posture correction products. And so they didn't have any second doubts whether or not they should go check for, competitor prices on Amazon or eBay. They just bought it right from my site. Now, another thing, products that solve a problem are the easiest to sell to cold traffic at scale. So like I think I already explained this enough. And then passion niche products are also easy to sell to cold traffic, but harder to scale. And I think I already touched on this as well. So for example, the dog products, if you have a product that's specifically made for people who love Chihuahuas, right? You could really tailor your offer to people who love Chihuahuas, right? And then really profit and get crazy returns on investments targeting those people. But the problem is that there's just not that many of those people, versus if you have a niche like posture correction, right? The total potential reach on people that have posture issues and back pains and slouching problems is massive. And so that's something that you can really, really scale, right? Because with just that store, just that one product, I did over $1 million in sales in like 5 months. But that's not even the crazy part. The crazy part is that I had a lot of competition. So if you try to think about how much those posture correctors sold just in like 2018, they probably sold like hundreds of millions. And so, yeah, if you have a product that solves a problem, those are really the best to scale. And by scale, I mean really, really scale to cold traffic. And so that's it for my criteria for finding a winning product. And now in the next lesson, I'm going to show you exactly how I found the posture corrector product and decided to build a store around it. All right, everybody. So in this lesson, I'm going to be talking about product validation methods, and then I'm going to show you exactly how I validated the posture corrector product for the Flex Posture store. So first off, Google Trends. Google Trends is a great way to validate the trend of a certain product. So products usually go through hype cycles as more and more people start advertising them. And this is usually what it'll look like. So you can keep this image in mind. And so analyzing the Google Trends for a certain product will show you where it is in that cycle. And you want to get in at the start of an uptrend, essentially, to make sure that you profit as much as possible with each store. So you don't want to get in at the end of an uptrend. You don't want to get in if it's a clear downtrend that's forming. And so this is important to keep in mind. And you need to know what a downtrend and uptrend looks like. And those are pretty obvious. So if you don't know that, just Google it. But that's a great way to do it. Another way that you can validate a product is with AliExpress product analysis. So just the number of orders on AliExpress is a good metric for how proven a product is to sell. So for example, the posture corrector product had 13,000 orders when I first looked at it. And so I knew that it was, proven to sell essentially. Anything with 1,000 orders plus is proven to sell. However, that doesn't mean that it's at the start of a cycle, right? It could be at the end of the cycle. And that's why you need to combine all these different methods. You don't just look at the number of orders. You look at the number of orders, look at the trend, etc. And so one way that you can see the trend of the sales of the product on AliExpress is using the product analysis tab. And the product analysis tab will let you see how many sales the product is getting per day. And so that's a great way to know if it's actually selling right now. And keep in mind that the big players are not using AliExpress. So this data is incomplete. The AliExpress data is incomplete. That's why you can't put too much, you can't rely too much on just one of these validation methods. You want to put them all together and then make an overall decision. Now, another great way to validate a product is with competitor search, right? You want to find competitors. If a product is doing extremely well, there's definitely a few competitors that are selling it right now and doing well with it. And so you want to find those competitors, because if you find someone who is spending on ads and selling the exact same product that you're trying to sell, that's a really good sign, right? No one spends on ads if they don't get a return back, right? At least not for a long period of time. So if you find competitors that are spending on ads and for the same product as you, that's a great sign, because it tells you that the product is selling and it's profitable for these guys. So then all you have to do at that point is figure out, what are they doing right? What could I do better? And so how do you find your competitors? That's another good question. Facebook search is one way to do it. And so one thing that you could do is you could search on Facebook for keywords that would appear in the caption for the post, right? So for example, for the posture corrector, I would look up posture. I would look up fix your posture, slouch much, like different keywords that I see in all these different posture corrector ads. I would search them and then I would find more competitors that way. Now, another way is you can use Ad Espresso. And Ad Espresso is a Facebook ad search engine, basically. So it saves a bunch of Facebook ads, and then you can search keywords and it'll pull up different Facebook ads. And so this won't always work, but when it does, it provides some really insightful information. That's what I did for Flex Posture. And I'm going to show you right after I cover all the product validation methods. So yeah, Ad Espresso is a great way. Now, info and ads is another great way to get more insight, right? When you do competitor research, you can check their info and ads type. It'll tell the info and ads tab, and it'll show you whether or not they're still selling that product. Now, another great way to validate products is asking suppliers or agents to validate that product for you. So if you already have connections with suppliers in China, you can ask them for insight about products and ask, hey, how well is this product selling? So for example, I recently asked my supplier about this iWand product that I saw. I think I showed you that example in the what does a winning product look like, the eye massage wand. I asked one of my suppliers, I was like, hey, do you have any info on how well this product is selling? And he told me, I'm currently shipping out 300 of those a day. And so the fact that my supplier was sending out 300 of those a day means that some dropshipper is doing at least $300 orders a day, which translate to what? 300 times 20, so $6,000 a day in sales with just one product. So that would be a good way to validate that product, right? To me, that was a validation for that product. Asking my supplier, he said there's 300 selling a day. And so you can combine that data, then you can go on AliExpress and then see, what's the total amount of orders per day as far as you know, and then combine that with the trend. And when you put everything together, you get a clear picture of whether or not it's a good product to jump into. So I did include a checklist for product validation, and so make sure to use it. I have a checklist. It's going to be in like the text section of the course. I don't really know how it's going to be set up, but you can just download that checklist, and it's going to help you validate these products. So make sure to use it. And now I want to quickly show you exactly how I validated this posture corrector product. And so this is the product. I found it here, and now as you can see, it has 34,000 orders. So it didn't have this many when I first got into it. So I found this product. So the first thing I did is I checked the dropshipping center. And so the dropshipping center right now, all of this is different now because it's been a while. I was selling this like 6 months ago, so now it's probably going to have less because it's slowed down. But as you can see, the sales volume is still 200 orders a day, right? So that's not bad. 200 orders from AliExpress every single day. So clearly, there's still demand for this product. But the question is there still low availability? Not as much as there was 6 months ago. But still, it's selling well. Now, another thing you could do is check the trend. So posture corrector. In past 12 months in the United States, so when I first got into it, this is what I was looking at. I was looking at July 21st. This is when I got into it. So to me, it had been on an uptrend for, 4 or 5 months. This is exactly when I decided to test it, during this little dip. And so I was like, okay, it's on an uptrend. And hopefully this uptrend will keep going. But the fact that it's starting to be in an uptrend tells me that it could be a good product to get in. So I decided to get in here. And as you can see, surely enough, the uptrend kept going, right? Because that's how trends work. And so the trend kept going. And now, if you compare it to December to when I first got started, it's like three times in size of the search interest on Google for this product. And so it was a great time to get into this product in July 21st. And you can kind of think of this like a stock chart, right? Like when do you want to enter? Do you think it's going to keep going up, or it's like a stock, right? If you think a stock's not going to keep going up, you don't want to buy that stock. And so it's the same thing with a product. If you don't want to enter and create a store for a product that you think is going to start declining in popularity and in trend. And so trend is also very important. Now, the other thing I did is I used Espresso to locate my competitors. And this is really what sold me. So I think I searched back brace. And then I found a bunch of these different ads. I don't know which one I found, but I think it was this one, because this was July 10th. So this is before I started my store. And I saw this. So yeah, I saw this ad that was literally, from a few days just before mine. A few weeks before, it was just from a few weeks earlier. And I saw that this ad had 2.4 million views from like 2 weeks ago, selling the exact same product. And so let me play that ad for you. And so I saw this ad and I was like, okay, this is a pretty good sign. And so then I decided to, go more in depth. So I show video a URL and then check it out, see what they're doing. And so you see 7 months ago, so this June 22nd, 2.4 million views. And it seemed like they were doing really well with it, right? And so then I checked the info and ads probably, and there was nothing to show, I think. There was nothing to show back then as well. And I think it's because these guys, they don't actually run off one main page. They just do a bunch of these health and beauty pages. But the fact that an ad had been posted from 2 weeks earlier from the same product, and I didn't think the ad was that good. That's the other thing, right? It was kind of like, it was a low quality ad. It had like a logo right here, You Daily Deal, like this. Didn't look nice. The captions didn't really make sense, right? Let's see what it says. Comfortable and light to wear underneath clothes. That's not that bad, but like perfect support during walking or standing. It was just an average ad is basically what I'm saying. It wasn't that great. And I thought, you know what? I could probably do a lot better than this. And to me, this was really a big validation. The fact that it had, 19,000 likes, 2.2 comments, seeing in the comments how many people were like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And so this was a great sign for me. Finding this competitor, that really validated the product for me. And so I think after finding this ad, that's when I decided to start my own, make Flex Posture, and then start making my own ad and start running this product. So that's how I validated the product for Flex Posture. And there's a lot of different ways to do it, but essentially you want to really make sure that every product you jump into is proven to work so that you don't waste your time on a bunch of products that are useless.